Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at AI writing tools.
Specifically.
Yeah, specifically QuillBot.
Okay.
We've got a whole bunch of their marketing stuff.
Yeah.
And we are going to break it all down.
Break it down.
What it does, how it's supposed
Mhm.
to help writers, and what people are actually saying about using it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
I'm fascinated by this one because it's like they're trying to be more than just like a grammar checker or something like that. It's like a whole suite of tools. 8 different tools.
Yeah.
AI-powered tools. They've got everything from paraphrasing and plagiarism checking
Oh, wow.
to a summariser citation generator and even an AI detector.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, it's like they want to be the one-stop shop for all your writing needs.
8 tools, that's a lot. It's like the Swiss Army knife of writing.
It is.
Before we get into all the details of each tool,
Hmm.
what is the big picture here? What are they saying is like the main benefit of using QuillBot?
Well, their marketing really emphasizes 3 main things. Perfect words every time. Speed without sacrifice,
Okay.
and clear, confident communication. It
Mhm.
seems like they're trying to address some of the biggest pain points that writers face, like finding the right words, meeting deadlines,
Right.
making sure your message is polished and professional.
Perfect words every time.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds amazing,
Right.
but isn't part of writing the struggle to find those perfect words?
Sure.
Does this make us lazy or less creative? What do you add?
That's a great question. It definitely raises some interesting questions about AI and the creative process. On the one hand, these tools could help us overcome writer's block
Right.
and find new ways to express ourselves. On the other hand, there's a risk of becoming too reliant on technology and losing that personal touch.
And they also say speed without sacrificing quality. They're even saying 75% average time savings
Wow,
per project. 75%. That's huge.
that's a lot of time.
Imagine what you could do with all that extra time.
Yeah, what would you do?
But it also makes you wonder, is it really your writing if a machine is doing it?
Right, where's the line?
So much of the work.
That's a really important point. It brings up those questions about authorship and authenticity. Are we just curating AI content, or are we still the real authors?
Right. And this is where their AI detector comes in. It's like they know that it could be used to cheat.
To enhance.
Yeah, to enhance maybe a little too much and maybe even cross some ethical lines.
It's pretty fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
We build these powerful tools to make us sound smarter, and then we have to build other tools to check if it's really us.
Okay, so they're promising a lot. Perfection speed and clear, confident communication. But who are they targeting with this?
Right. Who are they talking to?
Who are they saying will benefit the most?
Well, they're casting a pretty wide net. They mention students using it to write essays, professionals using it to improve their emails and business writing, content creators using it for brainstorming and research.
So it's not just for students trying to get their papers done. They're really going after a lot of different users.
Yeah, a broad audience.
But are they backing up these claims? Do they have any numbers?
They do. They claim to have over 35 million users worldwide, across more than 180 countries.
Wow.
It's like a major city, all relying on QuillBot.
That's kind of scary. Like, are we all starting to sound the same?
Yeah. Are we losing our individual voices?
But let's take a look at what real users are saying. We have some testimonials, right?
We do, and they offer some really interesting insights. Several users, like Jerry Keska, a content creator, highlight the significant time and money savings.
So they are seeing those benefits. That's good to know.
Yeah, it's good to hear that it's actually working.
But is everyone just focused on speed? What about the quality?
That's where it gets interesting. Some users, like published author Nico Zwaneveld, focus more on the creative enhancement.
Really?
He actually calls out the paraphraser and the AI detector as his favorites.
AI detector, that is a little creepy. But I get it. It's like an arms race out there.
It is a constant push and pull between AI and authenticity.
Going back to the testimonials, it's fascinating that people are using this in so many different ways.
It's not one size fits all.
Right, like Akshita Thakur, an English language trainer, mentioned how it not only saves her time, but helps her be more creative.
I think it's especially helpful for teachers who are always looking for new tools and ways to help their students.
Absolutely. Speaking of students, Denisha Verma calls it a game changer for her academic journey.
Wow, big words.
She talks about how it helped her improve her writing and save time, which, let's be honest, is every student's dream.
Absolutely every student's dream.
So we're seeing some common themes here. Time saving, better writing, and flexibility.
Those are great things to have.
It seems like it might be living up to at least some of its promises, But of course, these testimonials are just a snapshot.
Right, it's just a glimpse.
Everyone's experience will be different.
Everyone's different.
Before we dive into the specific tools, what exactly is QuillBot? How do they describe themselves?
They call themselves your complete writing solution.
Complete writing solution that's bold. It implies they can handle anything.
Right, any writing need.
But then they go on to say they use AI to strengthen writing and boost productivity without sacrificing authenticity.
Interesting.
That phrase, without sacrificing authenticity, really stands out.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of talk about whether AI is stifling creativity, so it seems like they're trying to address that directly. By saying that this enhances your writing, it doesn't replace it.
So it's about augmenting your own voice.
Yeah.
And not just turning it over to the algorithm.
Exactly.
But how do they do that? Let's take a closer look at these 8 tools.
Yeah, let's break it down.
And see what they're all about.
Okay, sounds good. The first one is the paraphraser, which is probably their most well-known tool.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
As you might guess, it helps you rephrase text, either to find different ways to express an idea, improve the clarity of your writing, or avoid plagiarism. So it's like a super-powered thesaurus. But you know those basic paraphrasing tools online? They just swap out synonyms.
And they end up sounding all clunky and weird.
Totally robotic.
Is QuillBot any different? Do the rewrites actually sound human?
That's a great question, and one we'll have to look into. The quality is probably going to depend on a lot of factors,
Right.
like the complexity of the text and the settings you use. But what's interesting is that they claim to use AI that not only understands grammar and sentence structure, but also the meaning and context of the words.
So it's not just replacing words. It's trying to understand
Right, trying to get the meaning.
and find better ways to say it. That's pretty impressive if it works.
Yeah, if it actually works.
And that brings us to another point. We keep talking about AI, but what does that even mean here?
Right, what kind of AI?
What kind of AI is powering these tools?
Yeah, we're assuming our listener knows a little about AI, but maybe we should clarify.
Good point.
In simple terms, QuillBot is probably using something called natural language processing, or NLP.
NLP, got it.
This is a branch of AI that focuses on teaching computers to understand human language, just like we're doing now.
So it's not just a fancy algorithm, it's actually trying to learn language.
Trying to understand.
Like a human.
Like us.
That's amazing and scary at the same time.
It is a little bit of both.
What else do they have besides this paraphraser?
Well, next up is the grammar checker, which is probably the most familiar to people.
Yeah, we've all used a grammar checker. At some point,
Definitely.
what makes QuillBots different? Is it just a spell check on steroids or what?
Well, they claim it goes beyond typos and grammar errors. They say it analyzes your writing style and suggests improvements to clarity, conciseness, and tone.
So it's like a virtual writing coach
Exactly.
looking over your shoulder. I could use that.
Me too.
I'm terrible at catching my own mistakes.
Yeah, it's hard to see your own mistakes.
And this is where the time saving comes in. If you had a tool that could catch errors
Yeah.
and make your writing better,
Yeah, that would be amazing.
that would be amazing. Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal. What's next?
Next up is the plagiarism checker, which is super important for anyone online, especially students and academics.
Originality is key. How does this plagiarism checker work?
They say it compares your writing to a huge database of online sources to make sure you're not accidentally or intentionally stealing someone's work.
So it's like a superpowered research assistant,
Yeah. Basic
checking everything you write.
fact-checking everything.
But speaking of checking things, let's talk about the AI detector. I'm really curious about this one.
This is where it gets interesting. Like, they're admitting their tech could be used for cheating.
Right.
This AI detector analyzes text to see if it was written by a human or an AI.
So you could see if that student paper was actually written by the student or by a robot.
Exactly, or by their AI friend.
That's both cool and terrifying.
It is, it really is.
It raises all sorts of questions
Big question.
about writing in the digital age.
Yeah, how do we know?
Okay, we're getting deep here, but we've got more tools to cover.
We do. We've got a lot more to go.
What's next?
Next, we have the summariser, which, as you might guess, helps you condense long pieces of text.
Okay, so like if you have to read a ton of research,
Exactly. Perfect for students or anyone who needs to quickly get the main points.
it's all about saving time and being efficient.
That's the name of the game.
What else?
Next is the citation generator, Another lifesaver for research papers and articles.
Oh, man. I wish I had that in college. All those footnotes took forever.
I know, it was a nightmare.
Talk about a time suck.
Seriously.
Okay.
Next, we have the translator. It can translate text between multiple languages.
Okay. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Helpful for communicating across borders or doing research.
Exactly.
Is there anything special about this one?
Well, they claim to use advanced AI for more accurate and natural-sounding translations, but we'd have to test it out to be sure.
Okay, so we've covered 7 tools so far. Paraphraser, grammar checker,
Plagiarism checker,
AI detector summarizer,
citation generator,
and translator. What's the last one?
And last but not least, we have QuillBot Flow, which is a newer edition. This one's a bit more interactive. It uses AI to help you brainstorm ideas, organize your thoughts, and actually write your content.
So it's more than just a grammar checker or a paraphrasing tool.
Right, it's more involved.
It's a writing companion.
Yeah, like a guide
Guiding you the whole way.
through the whole process.
Does it actually work?
From their marketing, it seems pretty robust.
Yeah.
It offers things like mind mapping, outlining, and even real-time collaboration.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So you could brainstorm ideas, create an outline, or even work on something with a team.
Exactly, all in one tool.
That is versatile.
Very versatile.
But we don't have time to do a deep dive into Flow today. But I think we've covered a lot of ground.
We have. It's been a good overview.
We've explored these 8 tools, talked about the ethics of using AI to write, and even thought about the future of writing.
Future of writing is a big question.
With machines that can write like humans. It's a fascinating topic.
It is.
And I think the main takeaway is that AI writing tools are powerful, but still new.
They're still developing.
They could change everything. But it's up to us to use them responsibly.
It's all about responsible use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to never stop questioning and exploring what's possible with language.
I like to keep pushing the boundaries.
So that's our look at QuillBot. We hope you found it helpful, and we encourage you to check it out and see how these tools might fit into your writing. But remember, always use them thoughtfully.
Yeah.
And critically. Happy writing, everyone.
Happy writing.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about what QuillBot offers and the tech behind it, but I want to zoom out a bit and think about the bigger picture here.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think we've talked about the specific tools,
Okay.
and we touched on the how, the tech behind it, the NLP. But now it's time to tackle the why.
Exactly.
Why should you, the listener, care about this? What does this mean for the future of writing?
On the surface, it sounds great. Saving time writing better, maybe even becoming a better writer with AI's help.
Right.
But is it really that simple? Are there downsides to consider?
There are always trade-offs with new technology. Think about the printing press.
Oh.
It revolutionized how we share information, but it also helped spread misinformation and propaganda.
Oh, that's interesting.
Same with social media. It connects us, but also creates echo chambers and amplifies harmful stuff.
So what are the potential unintended consequences of AI writing tools?
Yeah, that's the question.
One of the big concerns is plagiarism. If these tools can write original-sounding stuff, how do we know who's really thinking?
Right. How do we know who's the author?
And that's why I find their AI detector so fascinating. It's like they're trying to be proactive about addressing the ethical problems.
Yeah, the problems that their own tech creates.
Exactly. It's a bit of a double-edged sword.
It is.
It shows responsibility, but it also highlights the tension between innovation and ethics.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about catching plagiarism. It's deeper than that. It's about authorship, originality.
Right. If we use AI to write, are we still the authors?
That's a question that philosophers and legal people are already trying to figure out.
And it's not going to get any easier.
Right. And what about education? How do we teach writing in a world where AI can do so much of the work?
Yeah, do we embrace these tools or resist them?
Those are tough questions. And I don't think there's an easy answer.
I don't think so either.
But the important thing is we're having these conversations.
Exactly. We need to be thinking critically about this stuff.
About the impact of AI on writing, both the good and the bad.
The good and the bad, the potential, the pitfalls.
One way to frame this is to think about the different levels. These tools can operate at,
Levels of what?
like, at the most basic level.
Okay.
They can help with things like grammar and spelling,
Yeah.
which frees up our brains to focus on the bigger stuff.
The big picture stuff.
Like structure and argument.
Right. It's like having a really good editor who catches all the little things.
So you can focus on the big ideas.
Exactly.
But then there's the next level, where AI starts helping with paraphrasing
Yeah.
and summarizing.
Okay.
which is really helpful for research.
Really helpful.
Imagine summarizing a long academic paper instantly,
That would be amazing.
or rephrasing a complex sentence to make it easier to understand.
So much time saved.
And then there's the most advanced level, where AI starts generating ideas and even writing whole sections of text,
Whoa.
which is where things get really interesting and maybe a little scary.
It is a little scary.
I mean, if AI can write for us, what happens to human creativity?
Yeah, that's the big question. And there's no easy answer.
But AI is still just a tool.
It is a tool.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Yeah.
It's up to us humans to decide
We have the power.
how to use these tools.
Yeah.
And set ethical boundaries.
Boundaries are important.
And to constantly question those boundaries as technology keeps evolving.
Because what's sci-fi today could be normal tomorrow,
That's why it's so important to have these conversations now.
right now before it's too late.
We need to be thinking about the long term, not just the immediate benefit.
The long-term implications of AI.
Okay, so we've talked about the downsides.
The potential downsides.
Plagiarism, ethical concerns, the impact on education. But let's not forget the benefits.
Yeah, there are definitely benefits.
It's easy to focus on the negative, but these tools could also democratize writing,
Democratize.
like make it accessible to everyone.
What do you mean by that?
Imagine no more language barriers.
Yeah.
Anyone can use AI to communicate, regardless of their skill level.
So it's not just about making good writers better. It's about giving everyone a voice.
Giving everyone a voice. I like that.
And think about people with disabilities. AI could be a game changer for them.
Absolutely. It could open up a whole new world.
You give them a voice they might not otherwise have.
A voice they might not have had before.
That's powerful. And it's not just about accessibility. It's about efficiency.
Okay.
Imagine everyone communicating clearly, getting their ideas across quickly. That could lead to greater understanding, collaboration, progress.
Progress in all areas of life.
So AI could actually help us connect, even if it seems counterintuitive.
It's about enhancing human connection, not replacing it. It's easy to think of AI as a threat, but it's really about how we use it.
We have the power.
And that brings us back to QuillBot. They emphasize responsible and ethical use. They have that whole QuillBot University thing.
Yeah, it's a whole educational section with tutorials and courses on AI writing.
It's like they're saying, we're not just selling something, we're building a community.
A community of writers who are empowered by AI, but also aware of the risks.
I like that approach. It's more nuanced
And thoughtful.
than just saying, hey, our tool is great. Use it, however. It shows they're thinking about the long game.
The long game, not just the quick win.
Okay, we've covered a lot. The downsides, the possibilities, but we still haven't looked at how these tools actually work.
You're right, we've been so big picture, we haven't gotten into the details.
So let's zoom back in
Okay.
and take a closer look at these 8 tools.
Starting with
Starting with the paraphraser.
the paraphraser, let's see what it can do.
Let's see if QuillBot can live up to its hype. Okay, so we've talked about the ethics and the big picture impact of AI writing tools. Now let's get into the details. How do these QuillBot tools actually work? Are they easy to use? Do they really do what they promise?
Those are the key questions. And to answer them, we need to get hands-on. So let's start with their most famous tool, the paraphraser.
Okay, the paraphraser, we've all seen those basic paraphrasing tools online. You plug in a sentence, it swaps out synonyms, and you get something that sounds like a robot wrote it.
Right, totally robotic.
Is QuillBot any different? Do their rewrites actually sound human?
That's what we're here to find out. They say they use fancy AI that understands meaning and context, not just grammar.
So let's test it out. I'm on their website now. There's a box to enter text. Let's try a simple sentence. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
A classic. Let's see what it does.
I hit paraphrase, and wow, it gives me a bunch of options, and they all sound good. Some are just small changes like the swift brown fox leaped over the idle dog.
Okay.
But some are more creative, like a speedy fox, brown in color, vaulted over a canine companion taking a nap.
That's pretty good. It's not just swapping words randomly, it's understanding the meaning.
I'm surprised. This is way better than other tools I've tried. And it's so easy to use.
It is very user-friendly, and I can see why people like this.
Okay, so the paraphraser gets a thumbs up. What about their grammar checker? Is it better than the free ones out there?
Well, they claim it does more than just catch typos and grammar errors. They say it analyzes your style and offers suggestions.
So let's see. I'm going to paste in a paragraph from one of my articles. Okay, here we go, hitting grammar check. Interesting. It caught a couple typos.
Always embarrassing.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But it also flagged some wordy sentences.
Yeah.
and suggested more concise ways to say them.
So it's not just about errors, it's about making your writing better.
Exactly. And it even gave me feedback on my tone.
Oh, wow. What did it say?
It said I could sound more confident in some places.
That's interesting. I've never seen a grammar checker do that.
Me neither. I'm impressed. It's like having a writing coach in my computer.
It's a step up from the basic ones, and I think it could really help people learning English. Or people who want to improve their writing.
Okay, so the paraphraser and grammar checker are both good. What about the AI detector? This is the one that kind of freaks me out.
I know, right? It's weird that we need a tool to tell us if a human or a machine wrote something.
But it's also kind of necessary. If these AI tools are getting better, we need a way to prevent cheating.
To make sure the writing is original.
Absolutely. So let's see how it works. I'm going to paste in a paragraph from a news article.
Okay. Sounds
It's a
good.
pretty basic article.
Okay.
Heading, Detect AI. And it says, this text was likely written by a human.
Okay, good. So it works.
So it works at least for simple text. But what about something more complex, like something an AI wrote?
That's a good question. We don't have any AI writing to test it with right now.
That's true. But it would be interesting to see how it handles that.
Yeah, to see how accurate it is.
I think this AI detector is more of a deterrent. Just knowing it exists might make people think twice about using AI to cheat.
Like a security camera. It might not stop every crime, but it makes people less likely to do it.
Okay, so we've looked at the paraphraser, the grammar checker, and the AI detector. We're running out of time, but I want to touch on one more tool. QuillBot. Flow.
Okay. The writing companion.
This is the one that's supposed to help with brainstorming, organizing thoughts, and writing content.
It guides you through the whole process.
So it's more than just checking grammar or paraphrasing. It's like a virtual writing coach.
Exactly.
But does it actually work?
Well, from what we've seen, it seems pretty powerful. It has mind mapping, outlining, and even real-time collaboration.
Wow. So you could use it for all sorts of things. Brainstorming a new project, creating an outline, even working with a team.
Yeah, it's very versatile.
But we don't have time to fully explore Flow today, but I think we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
We've explored these tools, discussed the ethics of AI writing, and even thought about the future of writing.
The future of writing is a big one.
In a world where machines can write like humans,
It's a fascinating time to be alive.
the key takeaway is that AI writing tools are powerful, but still new.
Still evolving.
They could change everything. But it's up to us to use them responsibly
We have to be responsible.
and to keep questioning and exploring what's possible with language.
To keep pushing the boundaries.
So that's our deep dive into QuillBot. We hope you learned something, and we encourage you to check it out for yourself. See how these tools might fit into your writing process. But remember, use them thoughtfully and carefully. Happy writing, everyone.
Happy writing.